What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be going over none other than Gaiomon. So without a further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about this deck profile that everyone voted for, shall we? So first off, let's talk about it, shall we? We have the Digitama. We are playing none other than 4 Koromon. Koromon is really good because it allows our Greymon or Omnimon basically to draw us a card. Since this whole deck is filled with Greymons, more than likely we're going to be taking care of the card advantage aspect. So we want to take as much card advantage as we can. And the final rookie is 1 Gurimon for more card advantage. If this card this Digimon has 6,000 DP or more, you have to draw a card. So we want just drawing all across the board. You could play the Koromon that gives you an extra 1,000 DP if you feel like you're not reaching DP thresholds. But it's good to draw cards. And I think that's the best way we're going to handle that. And we have other ways of gaining power in this deck, especially in our rookies. So first off, we are playing Promo Agumon, because this card is, while this Digimon has Greymon in its name, it gets plus 2,000 DP. Since most of our line is Greymon, we will be gaining extra power boost to swing in and cause more damage. It is very powerful, and we love seeing this card. Next, we are playing a Searcher. Well, none other than Agumon X Antibody. So this can Digivolve on Agumon. By the way, it's bracketed, so color is not a restriction. So if you have black, purple, green, pink, yellow, whatever you want for Agumons, this can Digivolve on top of any Agumon in the bracketed. It has to be an Agumon. It can't be an expert, all those fancy other keywords, or even the X Antibody itself. But on play, when Digivolving, reveal 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 X Antibody card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Since we aren't playing a Black War Greymon X Antibody deck, this deck has a little bit of it. Its top end isn't a X Antibody. So we don't need the X Antibody option. So it's not always important to have that. Next, we are playing 3 of BT-5's amazing Agumon here. So on play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Greymon in its name, and add 1 card with Omnimon among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So we need as much searching power as we can because we want consistency, and consistency is draw power. Next, we are playing 2 of the BT-8's Black Agumon. So this one is reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Greymon in its name, and or 1 card with Dragonkin in its traits among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So we are going to be placing this down, and voila, we have plenty of cards here that are giving us plenty of search values, and we have a DP booster. So that's going to help us, and that is our rookie lineup for this list. And that's really good, in my opinion. If you have any objections, let me know down in the comments what you are not playing and what you are playing. Next, we are playing 4 Greymon X Antibody. This can Digivolve on top of Greymon, so it doesn't matter of color or anything like that. So that's what we like. But it also has, if we can get this camera to focus, there we go. While this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and an effect that would delete this Digimon or return it to your hand or deck, you may trash 2 sources with the same name and give it self-protection. Really does help out, actually, that self-protection, because especially when you start applying a lot of damage on our top end. So next, we are playing 3 Greymon from the starter deck 1. This one has security +1, so it makes a lot more security threatening plays. Very useful in my opinion. Next, we are playing Greymon from BT-5. So when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Agumon in its Digi-Evolution cards, gain 1 memory. While this Digimon has Omnimon or Greymon, or, in its name, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. So it's only Greymon or Omnimon. But that extra boost can get you that win and get you over things you don't like. Next, we are playing 2 Greymon from BT-8 as well. This one gives blocker. Sometimes that blocker does matter, and sometimes that it will get you the game win you need. So pretty good, solid so far. Next, we have one last 2 of in this list, and we are playing Deltamon. The reason for this is because your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a 2-color card or composition, and its traits reduce the Digievolution cost by 2. So you can promote up probably a little bit earlier than you were expecting, and that can help out, especially in certain matchups. And then when attacking, for each of this Digimon's 2 colors, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So that's awesome. So why am I talking about this? Well, he's going to help us get into Metal to Black War Greymon a little bit quicker, and that's what we want him for. But all in all, I think the champion line is pretty solid, and I think that's where we're going to stick with. So hopefully you guys enjoy the champion line. Next, we are going to dive into the ultimate line. We are playing 4 of BT-08 Black Red Metal Greymon. This is where Deltamon gets to reduce it by 2, and then maybe we use, Nokia to bring it down to a 1 cost. That's going to help us out a lot. When Digivolving, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. While this Digimon has Dragonkin or Machine in its traits, this Digimon can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So applying pressure, we love it. And we want to apply as much pressure as we can. So we get to then do 3 Metal Greymon X Antibody. This card gets, when Digivolving, if this Digimon has security +1, until the end of your opponent's next turn, this Digimon has Metal Greymon or X Antibody's Digievolution. This Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, being able to swing in with an extra security check, with the extra boost, we can possibly get into threats that we weren't ready for, but it does help out. And then we do play 2 more ultimates in Mega Dramon. This card came strictly out of BT-09. So this card, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play Digimon or Tamer. That's important. So with a play cost 3 or less. This helps out with Deltamon as well, becoming a 2 cost, and being able to pop a Tamer that they might need, especially if you're facing against, let's say, Alphamon, that Yuji, or any X Antibody deck, you can pop that beautiful cool boy. So that's something to want to think about. And when attacking, if this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in his traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer with a play cost 3 or less. So we can start deleting multiple Tamers and putting your opponent on the ropes, especially since those 3-cost Tamers do add up eventually. And that's what we want to do. We want to semi-control the board and deal with threats that way. So now into the Megas. We have 3 Black War Greymon. We don't have a lot of room in this list because of all the text we have to play. But when Digivolving, if this Digimon is a red Digimon, if this Digimon has red Digievolution card, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon. And if this Digimon has black Digievolution, choose any of your opponent's Tamers. And that's choose up to a play cost that adds up to 6 cards or less. So we can pop a 4 cost, especially if we can do something very interesting here. We get to use Mega Dramon underneath this. We can just hopefully swing in and keep it our turn, but popping 2 Tamers, we get to pop the Memory Tamer, and then maybe they're 3 cost. Now your opponent's at a very high disadvantage that they weren't ready for. Especially if you go Mega Dramon and then get into Black War Greymon, you can pop really a lot of their Tamers and set them back. And that can really set you ahead. And then we do play 3 Gaiomon. Gaiomon is really interesting. It can Digivolve on top of your Black War Greymon for 2. This card is also treated as a Greymon in its name, which really helps because of researchers. It has Security Plus and Reboot. But if this Digimon has a Black Digievolution card, de-Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon. If this Digimon has a red Digievolution card, Blitz. So basically, what we can do is basically apply a bunch of pressure to our opponent that they weren't ready for. And that really does help out. The only time this card doesn't count as a Greymon is in Raising. So don't Digivolve into this in Raising. That would be a bad idea. So then that is our level 6 count. Not bad. Next we have Blitz Omnimon. Blitz Omnimon is in here for when Digivolving Blitz, and that'll be our game closer. and unsuspends himself so that extra swing comes in useful. And then alterns if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to hand or deck, you can prevent it by trashing one level 6 Digimon from its sources to negate the effect, basically. Prevent the deletion or anything like that. So it's just basically useful. And then we have Omnimon X Antibody. This card is straight up gas for us. We get a protection build up, and then we can do popping your opponent's DP Digimon, and then opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you can negate the attacks by trashing 2 sources. That is our level 7, boys and girls. I think that's pretty solid. Now, let's talk about it. We have 2 Tai Kamiya, extra security checks. Very beneficial. We are playing this like a red deck, so why not take advantage of it? And then we do play 2 Nokia to help reduce cost, and it gets to play majority of our Agumons, except for the X Antibody Agumon, because it is not an Agumon in the bracketed name. It has a name extension. So that is our tamers, and being able to reduce the cost of our Greymon evolutions really does help out. And then finally, 3 Red Mem Boost, because if you aren't playing your memory boosters this tournament in this format, you're going to be in trouble. And I'm being quite serious. So hopefully you guys are playing ways of searching your deck, and this will help you out go the mile. So hopefully, guys, you do like this deck profile. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!